All right, so normally I'd be showing you a video on a cool old classic two-stroke engine that goes into a car, like the Subaru 360 engine gearbox I'm working on, or any one of these cars with covers on them that are in the shop that are tiny and little and really fun. But as life has it, I work on common, what I call bread and butter cars. This car is no different. It's for a friend, a good customer. She was driving along in her Pacifica. It's a 2004 all-wheel drive Chrysler Pacifica, pretty common car. Well, not so common anymore. You don't see them too much anymore. And the car just stopped, which is, I wouldn't say it's common for a Pacifica, but they do have their share of problems. This one has the 3.5 liter V6. It says 24 valver. It's a pretty powerful little engine. And the first thing I noticed was, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here because I've actually fixed the problem, but it stymied me and it bothered me that I didn't recognize it at first. And for being a mechanic of almost 50 years now, wait, 45 years, I'm dating myself. And that's unusual. I usually can figure out simple problems. This one wasn't so simple, but I did notice the positive battery terminal, which would be right here. Battery was in the vehicle. The battery was completely dead, had this white powdery concoction all up and down the wires there. I've cleaned them. You can see they're better. But these two wires, which are these two wires here, come together and they were powdered white for about, a good 4 or 5 inches, all the way up to where they merged together into this connection. And I thought, something's up. The car wouldn't start. The battery was completely flat. The tow truck driver couldn't get it started. Nothing would start this car. In fact, I simply pulled out the battery, which was that one there, put in another battery that was known good, and the car wouldn't start. And when I hooked the battery up, I could hear it just draining it instantly, like it would just, like a direct short, like a huge amperage direct short. And I thought, what the heck could be causing that? There was white powder all over the inside here, all over the battery tray. I've cleaned up most of it, but it's corrosion. And I think I figured it out. It's kind of a weird deal, but I believe that this connection, for whatever reason, wasn't allowing the alternator to charge. In other words, the alternator, which is over on this side of the vehicle and has been replaced it probably 2 years ago, was working fine, couldn't charge the battery, and therefore burned itself out, or maybe it overcharged, I'm not sure. Somehow the alternator is involved here, and the alternator has directly shorted itself out because it was trying to charge the battery or overcharge the battery in some way. So once I disconnected the alternator and did an ohm test, the direct short seemed to disappear. So the alternator is at fault, but I don't think it was the alternator's fault. I think it was the corrosion on this that caused the problem. Something so simple. And I probably should have caught it at a basic service, but I didn't. It was covered up by this rubber boot, and these wires were completely plugged. So anyhow, it shut the customer down. Tow truck driver couldn't get her restarted. I had a hard time restarting it, all because of a corroded battery cable. I have then checked and went down underneath, checked the negatives. There's a bunch of negatives on the frame right in this area here. See these posts here? I cleaned all those up because I thought maybe it had broken a negative post on the frame or on the transmission. They seem to be intact. I checked the starter, and that's what I've come to realize. I was able to then put a battery in it and drive it in the shop, which I haven't been able to do for the last couple days as I've been scratching my head. So just wanted anybody else in the world to know that if you see a lot of corrosion around your positive battery terminals, it's actually impregnated into the copper wires, and for a period of the wire, in other words 4 or 6 inches, electricity can't flow through there, and it's going to create some type of a weird problem. And in this case, killed the car, stranded the driver, and frustrated the mechanic. But I think I got it figured out now. So in goes a new alternator. I was able to recharge the battery, clean it all up, and we'll get the customer on her way. So there you go. That is the stump your mechanic problem for the day. I think we've got it resolved. We're on our way, and the next video should be something to do more with a microcar or something like that. These old Pacificas are good old people haulers. And oh, we got to check in for the weather. What's it going to do today? Oh, it's going to be hot because Stella's laying on her little rug. It's going to be 90 degrees today, isn't it? Yeah, you good girl. You stay cool. Okay, you guys stay cool, and we'll check you next time.